Hello and welcome to our very first Lazy's Music Studio amateur hour is what I'm going to call it. So basically what we're going to be doing on this one is testing everything works as it's supposed to, because it's a bit fiddly to get your DAW, which is a DAW, which is a digital audio workflow or something, to actually go out on the stream. So it's been quite interesting trying to get just that to work, let alone the whole learning music theory, which is what I've been doing. So we're going to basically give it a try now, and hopefully you're going to be able to hear it on the stream. So we're going to do that first, and then I'll go through what equipment I've got, and then we are working on a song, which you can see in front of me, which is called, at the moment, the working title is Jungle, and we will play that, and then we'll see that that you can hear everything. So it's going to be, as I say, an interesting, but let's just give it a go. I have to turn you off mute, and now for some reason you're hearing me twice. I'm not quite sure why you are, but I believe you are, but you might not be, but I think you are. I've just got to check a moment where this is getting its audio from. Right, so for some reason, the reason you're hearing it twice is because it's taking my audio from somewhere else. Well, actually, I think that might be right. No, it isn't right. I don't know. I'm going to have to listen back, but hopefully you'll be able to tell me. So we're going to play it. So let's just play what we've got and let's see what comes out. Right, so I know instantly that you're not getting what you're supposed to be getting. Oh, not good. So I don't know what I've done differently, but we've already got an epic fail. Let me just go down to here, and I'm pretty sure that everything that I'm doing is what it's supposed to be doing. I just have to now remember how I do it on here, and it's all to do with a plugin that I've got, which Streamlabs OBS should be picking up. I've just got to remember what it is that I've got to do, and I think I think it's under here, and I think it's that one. So I should be able to open this one. Ah, bollocks. Okay, so it's literally failed first go, which is what the test is all about. So I suppose, you know, it is what it is. Right, okay, so on my restream, I've got to go to a setting on here now. Do you know what? I literally cannot remember what I've got to do. So I'm going to have to go to YouTube very quickly and look it up. Studio One, which is the system that the DAWs that I'm using, is Studio One Professional. By Presonus. So that's the software that I'm using. So Studio One, I think it is Restream 3ST plugin. And I think it is this guy. So you're going to be listening to this one as well. This is Chris Selim. There we go. I'm just going to fast forward a bit. Hang on, let's just go back a bit. Right. Right. I think what I've got to do is in my mix. This is an interesting exercise. I will probably edit some of this out, but the idea is once I've done it, I'll be able to send it over to YouTube. Okay, so send, and I can do local. Okay, I'm kind of remembering now how I've got to do this. Alright, I've done that bit. Now we've got to go over to this one, OBS. One, two. There we go. Okay. All right, let's just close that now. Now you should be able to hear it. So let's just check on my stream. I click play, you should be able to hear it. Right. So can you hear that? Oh, Crum's here. Thank you, Crumb, for popping in. Right. Can you hear the music? That's the important bit. Okay, good. Okay, so this is the song. The working title at the moment is called Jungle. Basically, it's in A minor. And I can't sing, so hands down, I'm a terrible singer. But I'm at the point right now where I am deciding on whether I like doing the music first and then finding lyrics to put to it, or I write the lyrics first and then put the music to the lyrics. I've tried it both ways. I don't say that I have a favourite. I know that lots of people on YouTube, and by all means go onto YouTube and look at how different people do it. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I haven't found my comfortable way yet. I'm still working with a bit of both. So that's basically how we're doing it. So I've done this particular one. So let's just talk through first what I use. So I've got a Sub-Zero mic, which connects to a M-Track Duo controller, which I have another controller which is not installed yet. I have it because it's downstairs, but I haven't installed it yet. So the mic will go into there, then it will go into my M-Track Duo controller, which then feeds into my computer. I also have the Atom. So this is the PreSonus Atom, which is a pad and sampler. And over here, which you can't see because it's not in camera view, but just down there, I have a keyboard, which is the Akia Professional LPK25, which is where I do all my keyboard stuff. And obviously I've got my headset, which is all should be different to what I stream. But what I'm sorry, what I'm noticing is in my microphone setup for the stream, which is different, it is actually also picking up something else that it shouldn't be picking up. I don't know why it is, other than the fact that it's active because it's part of the camera on my stream. So that's all a bit weird. So that's a system that I've got set up, and I'm still an amateur. So all I've done really is study over the last 6 weeks, mainly because I had COVID and I had nothing else to do, is music theory. So my approach is not going to be the same approach as everybody else's, but the theory behind it should be the same as everybody else's. It's just how I tackle it is going to be probably different, but that's a good thing. So even though that I have watched lots and lots of videos, I only look at music theory rather than anything else, because everyone is different. So it's kind of brave of me to do this, for example, because everyone is different, and everyone, a bit like food, you know, Marmite, you either really like a track or you don't, and you might not like what I do, or you might like it. So I've got no idea until I put it out there. So that's the basics of what we're talking about. At the moment, I am trying, as you can see on the screen, if I get rid of all that, I've tried 3 different versions of how to sing this song. And I'm going to explain the song, not to bore you, but I think it's interesting that one thing that someone taught me very early on is that if you're going to write a song, you have to understand the emotion behind it. So it needs to be a story. What is your story? And break that story down into some sort of lyric, I suppose. So on this particular one, I kind of did the lyrics, and it was meant to be like a sort of a rap, but I can't rap, and I can't sing either. So what I started with when I first started all this was not the beat, it was the tune. And this one is the tune. Let's just wait for it to kick in. I should have moved it over. So that was it. That is what I started with. And then I kind of built on with the bass, because I wanted the bass to obviously match it. So very simple bass. Then I brought the drums into it. And then once I had that, I could then obviously learn how I wanted the lyrics to go into it. And then once the lyrics were in there, then I started adding extra things. For example, this bar is a new addition to everything else, because the lyrics kind of needed it. Thank you, I am brave. So that bit was a new addition, and I think that's important, because when you're writing lyrics and you're doing the song, you don't want to think that you've done everything to prepare yourself for it. I found that, for myself anyway, I found that quite difficult. So I always start with the very, very basics. So when you start with this one, da 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 da, I had to try and find lyrics and how I wanted that to go in. Also, the tempo is important because it isn't a very fast song. It's not supposed to be, because even though that I wanted to rap, and rap is generally sometimes fast, I wasn't able to keep up with myself, even though it was only 120 beats a minute. So we're going to go over to my lyrics, okay? And this is the lyrics I did first. Okay, so let's just move over. Sorry, I keep coughing because I'm still lagging with COVID symptoms. So I lose my breath easily. Okay, so the first lyric I came up with was, "Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing of a stumble." So obviously each of these lines are personal because they obviously mean something to me. Life is a jungle, that line is simple because life is quite hard. Feels like a rumble, basically that line is because life is topsy-turvy sometimes. I mean, this is like personal life. This is things that happen to you. on everyday life, you know. Fearing to stumble. I think when you're a parent, or even if you're not a parent, but in my case, I am a single parent. I always second guess myself on, should I make this decision for me and my daughter, or should I push my daughter to do this, or should I push her to do that? So when I say I fear of stumble, I think that's because pretty much all the time I'm always second guessing myself. But I feel humble, and that's because the daughter that I do have and that I brought up on my own since she was 2 is amazing. So, you know, obviously I'm very humble about that. Next one is, it's the risks I take for my baby's sake. Obviously, every step that you take in life is a risk. You take risks every single day, sometimes without even realizing it, because most of the time, or 99.9999% of the time, no harm comes to you, but there is no reason why on one particular occasion you do the same thing and then you fall flat on your face. So it's a risk we take for my baby's sake. So that's basically me just carrying on. It is tough being a single parent. I think it's tough being a parent generally, but being a single parent has its own challenges. Balancing our lives with the steps I take. Now that kind of prepares you for the next bit. And again, as a parent, you will understand this. Balancing our lives with the steps I make, pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. You're like in a constant contradiction with yourself when you're bringing up kids, and it's interesting, and it's understandable why kids can get confused sometimes, because you're saying one thing but then you're doing something else, and that's a balancing act on how you kind of do that. So that particular line kind of resembles, okay, yeah, I'm pushing, but I'm pulling, and I'm living, and I'm giving, and I'm needing, but I'm also hoping. So those kind of, that line, balancing our lives with the steps I make, goes into pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. So that's how that goes into there. And then you go into the chorus. It's not really a chorus. I don't know what it is. It's something, but it says, will you be my friend? I will be your parent. This is kind of interesting for me because my daughter's a teenager, and we've always been best friends. And we've always been best friends more than me being a parent. But sometimes you have to be a parent, and it's tough when your child is used to being your friend. So that's how this line comes in, because it's contradictory, which is what bringing up kids is a bit like. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent. I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's the dance of life I do for you and me. This is constant. You know, it is absolutely constant. You're trying to protect them, but at the same time, you're saying, you've got to learn these experiences on your own, and I can't be there for all of it, but I want to give you a big cuddle and protect you in bubble wrap. So it's kind of like, that's where I'm going with that particular part of the song. So that is basically, then it just repeats itself as it goes down. So that is that part of the song. So to listen to it with the lyrics that I've got, which I'm not happy with at the moment, and you'll understand why when you hear it. Hang on, I want to mute that one because that's the very old version. It's kind of come on since then. I don't know how to get rid of all these. Let's just get rid of all these. Don't want any of them. Right. So we're going to mute this one. I don't want that one done. So let's just listen to the song. Now this one I did over the last few days. These lyrics. This one here.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. It's a risk I take for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free.
So if you notice there, when I went down to the second line, it's a completely different tone to what I did in the other line. So it was a case of, okay, I have to do it in one take. I can't do it in bits. And I think that's because my mood changes very, very rapidly. And I can't control that. So if I try and sing a song in the morning and then try and sing a song in the afternoon, my temperament and my emotions are going to be different. And I think that kind of then transposes itself onto how I sing, because they are very, very different. I sang that last bit, which is the one that you're listening now.
It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
Right, I did that yesterday after I just found out that the dental hospital decided to ignore what my child's proper dentist said for an emergency treatment and decided it wasn't so urgent. So I was pissed, right? I was not happy. And I think that is really apparent in the way that this bit, which was done the day before yesterday,
It's the risk I take for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
and then when it changes to this bit, notice the difference in the sound.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Will you be my friend?
So the first two sections I did yesterday early morning, and then by the afternoon I did this section. Yeah, you can really hear the difference. It's incredible, and I wonder how singers do it. I mean, I know that when singers do it and they do vocals, they're in a booth and they could be in there for like the whole day doing it until they get it right. But obviously there is a massive difference, which is something that we've got to crack. So that's what I've been playing with today. But I've been wanting to stream this whole process. I mean, I've jumped to quite a few steps. So I think what I want to do is start from a completely blank screen, and then start doing it and stream it start to finish. So that is my aim. But I just wanted to test a few things and make sure that everything works and that I'm kind of happy with how the microphones and all that work. But I've obviously jumped quite a few steps, so it's difficult because when I watch YouTube videos, and there's loads out there from brilliant professionals and people that earn lots and lots of money doing this, the one thing that always comes up is that they've got great ears, and I don't. I really don't. They're doing stuff post, and they're changing by putting in equalizers and all sorts of extras into it, and they're making tiny adjustments, and they can say, yeah, no, that sounds better, and I don't hear any difference whatsoever. But in this one, totally hear a massive difference. So if we were to mute these, but this one, this is the original when I started at the start of last week.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, but a fear of a stumble. It's the risks I take, balancing our life as a single dad, pushing to make
Lyrics have
it
changed a bit as
better than I ever had.
So that's like very Jake Bugg kind of in his early years kind of way of doing it. So you can see how it's progressed. But the aim is now that I need to tidy up the lyrics. So what I've managed to do, but I'm not still 100% happy with it, but this is what I did this morning. Just so you know, obviously, doing this sort of thing is very repetitive, so I apologise for that, but it is very repetitive, and then trying to get it right. So you will be listening to the same thing over and over and over again, but I will try and explain each time what I'm doing so that it tries to make the whole thing a little bit more interesting rather than just the constant beat and getting a headache, which I do get often.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
So what you've noticed that this entire bar, in the mix, it has nothing added to it. So all the others, I've put a Pro EQ on, a fat channel change, multi-band change, but on voice vocal 4, there's nothing. So at the moment, I've done nothing to it. It's just my voice and nothing else, which is an important point because it's not very good. But also, I've managed to do it in one complete step. But I'm not very happy with the tone, and I've been playing around with my microphone, but also I have very short-term memory issues, so I forget words. So I also have to try and look up at the screens at the same time whilst I'm doing it. But we'll carry on because this is where I change some of the way that the words work as I go through. So we'll play all of it, and then I'm going to do another live recording and see if I can just nail it. Now I've got a better idea of what I'm trying to, where I'm trying to get to.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Will you be my friend?
Oh, hang on.
Protect you and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risks I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
And that is it. So doing it in one stretch is, I find, better, vocally speaking, from when I hear it back, but more difficult because obviously if you notice these, I've chopped and changed so I can move bits about. So this is the Life is a Jungle, and then all I did was copy and then paste that over here, so it's exactly the same. I'm not sure that's the right way of doing it for me, because I like emotion to be expressed, and if you do lots of copy and pasting, you're not expressing emotion. And then if you really understand the lyric, which is why I explained them earlier, you can understand that when I'm thinking about it, pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping, I will be your friend, I will be your parent, and I will protect you and I will set you free. It's this dance of life for you and me. That does touch me. A, because I wrote it, because I'm awesome, but also it's because when I hear it back and I'm singing it, I kind of feel that emotion. So I'm expecting a slightly more emotional part of life is a jungle, and I feel it is going to rumble, and I'm scared of stumbling, but I'm so pleased that I'm actually in this position. So I guess for me, I'm thinking I want more emotion in that second repeat verse than I am in the first one, because of what I'm feeling, and you don't get that if you just copy and paste. So yes, again, it's just the way that I work. And how I feel, because I am a very emotional person, so I feel it, and I think if you can hear that in my voice, even though that I can't sing, but we'll get into that in a minute once I finish this, because there are things that we can do that kind of makes my voice and everything a little bit better. Then it's the whole overall piece is going to be better, because clearly doing it in bits like I've done in vocals 2 and 3. Just isn't working for us. Well, it's not working for me. So we're going to try this again, and we're going to record it live on the stream, which I've not done before. But let's just see if I can get it sussed. Obviously, I'm looking at a different screen, so the camera's here, but I'll be looking up there because that's where the lyrics are, and I forget because I'm old. Okay, so we're going to try this. We're going to mute. I don't want to mute these because they kind of help me a little bit with how I record. Again, it's because I forget. Okay. The other downside is now that when I sing, and this is what Crumb you can help me with, I'm not quite sure how it's going to come across, because you're going to probably hear me 3 times. Because I've got 3 different recording devices going on at the same time whilst I'm singing. So it'll be interesting for the feedback on if it's shit or not. Because it doesn't matter if it is shit, it is a super echo. Yes, there is a super echo. And I can hear the echo in my headset. And I'm wondering if when I'm going to sing, if I mute this microphone like that, is that an improvement? I can still hear an echo. But that's because I know why it is. I think it's because I'm monitoring. Let's turn that off. Right, now you shouldn't get any echo. So is this better? You shouldn't be getting an echo, but I can't hear myself. I don't mind not hearing myself when I'm singing, that doesn't matter. But is that better? And there's no echo now. it's just me. So I'm just waiting. Obviously, I don't know what the time delay is on the stream for those who are watching on YouTube. But yeah, no echo now. Okay, I'm going to turn this back on in a minute, which is my actual streaming mic. So hopefully there shouldn't be an echo either, but there might be a tiny delay, which might sound like an echo, but let me know if there is one. But there shouldn't be one, but there might be. I've just turned my main microphone on that is just for streaming, not for anything else. So basically I've got two mics and they're all on at the moment. So when I talk, I can actually see my mixer on Streamlabs go up and down like a yo-yo. And I can see that there's a tiny delay, but I don't know how effective that is for you guys watching. So I'm hoping there's no echo. Still. Right. So we're going to assume that there is no more echo and that everything is hunky-dory. And you're just probably getting me really, really clear. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute it anyway. Hunky-dory indeed. That's okay then. That's fine then. Okay. In that case, I won't touch anything because I know that if I touch something, it's all going to break. Okay, so the Atom is obviously made by the Presonus, just the same developers of the software. So they kind of link together. So when I'm controlling the computer, I'm not actually using my computer. I'm using the Atom because that is directly linked to the computer. So I don't have to do very much in that regard. So let's just give it a go. The music will play. And then I will just try and do the lyrics, and you will see them overtake the lyrics that are already there. So let's just give it a go.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Will you be my friend?
Right, let's just switch it off. Right, so the echo has come back. I'm not quite sure why that is, but what I will do is I will mute this microphone just in case. And see if that fixes the problem. There we go. So I've turned off my streaming mic. So the only microphone I'm using now is this one. And this one is obviously the one that's going through Studio One. And then we'll try it this way. And see if you get an echo. But you shouldn't, but you might. But that's why we're doing this test. So I can learn from it. So we're going to start it again. Hopefully there's no echo. But if there is an echo, then obviously let me know, because that's something that we need to try and fix. Otherwise, I'll just know that I can't do any live recording whilst I'm on the stream, which is fine. But it's something that obviously I'd like to know now rather than later. So let's just give it a go.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
See, I said crying, and I wasn't meant to say crying, but I did say crying. I don't know why. It's giving, needing, hoping. That's what I mean by short-term memory. You can see how many times I have to do this.
Life is a jungle.
The echo is still there. It's not a huge issue. Okay. But it only happens when I'm recording, which kind of makes sense because even though that Well, no, it doesn't make sense if I'm actually honest. I'm not quite sure why it's echoey. Oh, it might be echoey, and it might look like there's an echo. And I'll tell you why. It's probably because there is an actual echo, because I'm not singing the same as these here. Right, let's just try this as an experiment. I think I need them on, but let's just say that I don't need it on. We're going to remove this, and then I can actually just start here, and then just see how we get on. I think maybe there could come in cause play and already recorded. Yes, yeah, I think that is what it could be, because I listened to that, and I shouldn't really listen to it because the lyrics are slightly different and the timing's slightly off. But it could be that. But I've turned them off now, so let's just see if this is any better. Life is a jungle. Do you see what I mean? I've completely forgot what the words were and where to do it. So, you know, my bad. Right, let's try that again. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this life of dance. See, I got that wrong. It's not bad if you want to keep the echo to help. It's off-putting or annoying as a viewer, in my opinion. Yeah, that's okay. No, it's not that bad, if I'm honest. I don't think it's that bad, if I'm honest. I was wondering if I could just get it going through my headset, but everything that goes through my headset, you hear. So it's not overly a problem in that way. Okay, so we've got to start that again because I've got my words mixed up, which again is nothing new. Right, let's just try this again. I want to try and see if I can get a full take, so I know that I can do it on a live stream. That's what that's the whole aim that I'm going for. But I'll have a quick drink and then we'll start again. I should know the song. I've sang it so many times, but in this way, I've only started singing it this morning. So, you know, I just have to possibly just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's what it's all about. Right, let's give it a go. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's a risk I take, for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Okay, there we go. That is redone live. So we can listen to it back and let's just check that actually everything is in time.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
Okay, that's interesting.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
So I'm not sure if that's any better or any worse than the one that I did before, but to me it sounds pretty much the same. Gotta be honest, I don't see much difference in it. But we can clean it up and make it slightly more crisper, and we can do that. Now the echo. So you're getting an echo now, but if I do that, I bet you don't get any echo at all. It's only when I'm talking that you get the echo. And the reason that is because I am being the latency between the Studio One mic is obviously a little bit more than my streaming mic. Oh, actually, you can't hear me at all now, can you? No, you couldn't have heard me at all then when I was talking, because I had. Oh no, there was a mic going. No, there wasn't. There wasn't any mics going, but you should be able to hear me now. But you probably wouldn't able to hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. Did you hear me all the way through, or did I stop? God, this is really difficult to work out. The reason being, you heard me the entire time. Well, I don't know how you did that. That's very clever. Okay, so if I mute this one here, you can still hear me, even though I don't know how you're hearing me. That is very interesting if that is the case. Wow. That's amazing. I've got no idea how you're I've got literally slightly quieter. Yeah, I think it is the webcam mic, which is up there. It's the top one, not the bottom one. So when I change to this one, woo, I think it's that camera mic that is picking me up, but it shouldn't be picking me up, but it is. That's interesting. Okay. I can't mute it. Oh, actually, unless it's on here. Right, this is the Restream plugin, and this is it. This here is how you're hearing me, and it's because I have put it on a microphone that is actually used. Could disable it in Windows if you wanted. I'm not sure, because the way that we restream from the doors is based on this little VTS thing, and it has to be put on the mic. It's just that they do say put it on a mic that you're not using, which is actually a possibility. But if I go into Windows and I just shut it off, I don't know if that's going to stop everything. I also don't know which camera is which. Well, actually, they can both. See, if I disable it, input devices, I don't know if that is going to just stop the camera So can you still hear me? Doesn't stop the camera. Right, let's just disable both of those. Right, so theoretically now I'm talking, but you shouldn't be able to hear me. Oh, you. Okay, that didn't quite work, did it? If you can still hear me and I've disabled the microphones, hang on a minute, is it still work? No, it stopped on here as well, so you shouldn't be able to hear. How are you hearing me? Oh my lord! I have no idea how you're hearing me. That's not even going up. Right, let's just try something a minute. If I just play this. Yeah, very good. It could be. Right. Can't hear the track, right? Yeah, that's really interesting. I think I understand now why people don't stream, and they only use YouTube. Um, I think I've just figured out why they do that. Okay, let's go back to our sound devices. I don't know which is which, so let's do that, and then let's just bring this one up. Hello, right, there you go. That one works. Okay, so now I should be able to press play.
And I feel humble. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Okay, you can hear the track. That's fine then. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit kerfuzzled on that. But to remove the echo, if I push this button, you shouldn't get an echo now. No, you will get an echo because that camera is still picking me up. Basically, I need to disable that camera, or add another instrument. Okay, so there's no echo now. Right, okay, that's fine. So all I've got to remember to do is to stop the echo, is to mute Studio 1.5 on OBS whilst I'm actually talking, which is fine. But then when I want to play the track, if I play the track now, you shouldn't hear it. I can hear it, but I'm guessing you can't hear it. So I'm guessing that you could not hear the track then when it was moving, and that is because I muted Studio 5, which is fine. That's just something that I need to do. Right. To tidy this up, yeah, I can't hear the J. That's fine. That's okay. It's all a learning process, so that's okay. Thank you very much. Right, let's try something different, because what I'm keen to know from listeners is if they notice a difference. So we're going to go to Melodyne here, which is quite an expensive piece of software, but it comes free if you get Studio 5 Professional. And this is basically going to do a few things. It monitors my entire song, okay, which is here. It determines the tempo and what key I'm in, which is A minor. I always sing in A minor, so I know that's what I'm going to sing in. And you can just tidy it up a little bit. You can have it automated and it does it for you, or you can go in and do it yourself. So we're going to zoom in here, okay, and if I push one of these buttons, right, now you can't hear that, so there's going to be a bit of an echo until I find out how to do it without an echo, which is something that I've got to try and do. But if I click one of these, that is what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. And this line is what I'm supposed to be following. Now obviously I'm not following it there, so I need to cut it and bring it down, and then I probably need to cut it again to get in there, like that. So now when I sing that part of the word, which I'm guessing is, hang on a minute, you can kind of guess what it is, sort of. Actually, where am I? Right. Life is a right. Okay. I'm not quite sure what that is. We probably should have started at the start, and I didn't. There we go. This is a good one. Life is a jungle. So you can see here.
Life.
So that's like life is.
Life.
And as you can see, it needs a bit of tidying up. To get the tone right. So this is basically what auto-tune does, as I understand it. Except auto-tune is a little bit more harsh. And this one isn't. It's more refined, but it does the same sort of thing. And then what you can also do, and obviously you have to go through every single word to make it sound really, really good, which I'm not doing at the moment. But we're going to, because that's how you make it sound awesome. And more flowing and more in tune, and it just sounds generally better. There you go. So it is a bit of work, but we're going to chop through it quite quickly. Obviously you want to do this on a full, like, 3-minute song, I don't know. So that's how it goes, basically down, back up. Break it up a little bit.
Like a rumble.
And then I'll do the first bit, because I think it's just interesting just to actually notice the actual difference.
Life is a jungle, feels.
Right, so up to number 7. So if we just solo this, go back, start again from 5.
Life is a jungle.
Right, so life is a jungle. This is basically the changes that I've actually made. So I can't basically, well, I could undo all of it, but I'm not going to. That sounds like far too much work. So let's do the next bit.
Feels like a rumble.
Right, feels like a rumble.
Feels like a rumble. Feels like a rumble. Feels like a rumble. Fearing us.
Right, let's see if we can make that sound a little bit better by doing some of these changes. Alright, so we're starting off from 7.
Feels like a rumble.
Okay, let's just not. Oops. It's going a little bit. There we go.
Feels.
Okay, I don't want that.
Feels like a rumble.
Okay, so we've got that. We've got to kind of understand how it's
Feels like a rumble. Fearing a stumble. And I feel.
Alright, I was pushing the wrong button now.
Feels like a rumble.
Okay, so what we're going to try and do is tidy that up and see if we can actually make it sound better. That's the objective. So wherever there's peaks, what we want is basically my voice to flow better. So I'm hoping once I've done this, you will see, well, you won't see, but you will hear a change. Hopefully a good change. Okay, let's try this. See sounds better?
Feels like a rumble.
Now, does that sound better than it did before?
Feels like a rumble. 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 Feels like a rumble.
I would say it's a little smoother. I'm not going to say that oh, that's a massive difference. Yeah, that sounds loads better, because I don't think it does. But I do think that there is a subtle difference to it.
Feels like a rumble. Feels like a rumble. Fearing a stumble.
Okay, so I can sort of vaguely hear that. You can also change it as well so that you make everything a better tone. So I tend to turn up, make quiet notes louder by 50%, mouth loud down to about 35%. Because sometimes you want the volume in a particular word to punch the point across that you're making. Pitch center, 100%. Allow it to drift, 75%. It's a bit high. Turn it down. And then I want to keep the timing. You can adjust the timing on this, but as my brother Muck Loopy says, sometimes it can make you sound a bit robotic, and he is right in that if you overdo it. So I tend just to leave the timing and trust myself on that. It's not perfect, the timing, not by any means, but it's more a case of trying to get as close as you can and as authentic as you can, which I think is quite more important. Right, so we've done that bar. This is the next one.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
Okay, so let's see if we can improve that. We want to it's 8 onwards, isn't it?
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. 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 Fearing.
But there is a bit of a wobble in the voice, in my voice, obviously. And we can get rid of that, so it's not quite so shaky, not so wobbly. Definitely a wobble in there. Right, this one is all over the place, so we need to tidy it up quite a bit on this one. And I think if we can tidy this up, we should hopefully remove a fair bit of the wobble, but we'll see. Because again, I'm still learning this myself. I understand the principle of it, but not always the dynamics of it. This one's way off. Definitely need to tidy this one up. Okay, let's see if this entirety. See if we can still hear that wobble in my voice.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. Fearing a stumble.
Well, I go quite high.
Fearing a stumble.
So that takes me up there quicker.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
And that goes a little bit.
fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
Humble. You notice that change? You definitely hear that change.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
So that's
fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
okay. That doesn't sound great. Let's move that up. It thinks it should be there. This last word is just a little bit high.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
See, that just doesn't sound right. It's all humble. Might be too much of a change.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
I wonder if it's this one that's a little bit high.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
So that goes all over the place, basically. And that's similar to this one.
Fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
That just sounds weird, doesn't it? But I don't know.
It's the risk I take.
Alright, let's go across. It's a risk I take. So what we're looking for is something that is like bizarrely out. Like that one. And again, I don't want to make it too robotic because it needs to have my own sound. And if I had a singer and their lyrics, I wouldn't want to change too much of it. I want it authentic. But all this is doing is just helping the picture a little bit. Keeping it a little bit more finer, I suppose, would be a good word. And making the drops just not so dropsy.
So
we need this one to come down. You notice when you
so
it's not such a drop. When it needs to be subtle, a subtle drop, not a massive octave drop, as it were.
Loving,
So that's loving.
loving.
So it's broken it up and it sees that there's a kink. So I want to change that slightly.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, pulling, loving, giving, pulling, loving, giving, pulling, loving, giving, pulling, loving.
That sounds quite nice. If I can say that about my own voice.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Move that slightly. Again, big drops. We want to catch.
Life is a jungle.
So there's not such a massive drop. That's basically more of what I'm looking at than all the refinery. Because I don't, like I say, I don't really want to make it overly robotic. So that's quite a drop.
And I will set you free. It's this dance of life. And I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
So we want to change that, and we need to bring this down. It's gone up. Okay, so then we need to balance that.
It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
That's better. But the wobble is still there, but we can get rid of that in a moment. Big drop. I'm going to get rid of the drops. Move across. Quite a few drops here. What section's this?
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble.
Move that up.
Like a rumble, fear in a stumble.
That sounds better, that's okay. Bit of a drop, but it's so slight. Straight up, then straight back down. That's okay. Change that one a little bit. Bring that one down a little bit. Just make that a little bit more balanced. There we go. Right, this is then the end of the song, so I'm not overly worried about doing too much to this. But again, massive drops like that we want to catch. That's a big drop. So we want it to be a little bit smoother coming down. Like that.
Like a rumble, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Lives with the steps I make.
That's better.
Our lives with the steps I make.
Get rid of that. We don't want that there. And then we can make the whole thing a little bit crisper. By just getting rid of the squiggly bits that isn't attached to a whole bit. Which is interesting because I thought it did this for me. But clearly it hasn't. But we definitely want to make it clean. That's massive. Make it as crisp as possible. Ooh.
It's this dance of life. This dance of life.
Oh, no, okay, I only did that last bit. Any long tails like this, I'm going to get rid of. I think we're going to need that end tangly bit.
I do for you and me. Humble.
No, don't want any of that. We need that. And we can get rid of this bit, I think.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel
gosh.
humble.
Okay. That doesn't sound too bad. We have cleaned it up a little bit.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Let's do it again.
Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Right, definitely need to clean that bit up.
I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble.
Definitely crisper.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Okay. So, we have that. And we need to tidy it up a little bit, to be honest. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to bring the multi-band over to be the first thing that we do.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
Humble. That's not right, is it?
It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Let's just lower that.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
I want to try and reduce the high.
Life is a jungle. Feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble.
Try and get rid of that wobble. That's the objective. There's a wobble.
It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. It's a risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. It's a risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Okay. Happy with that one. Right, now, ordinarily, we can put a compressor on and hopefully...
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble.
Is that the bottom?
It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving.
Right, that's...
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make.
That's good. That is sounding okay. Again, I can't sing, so you have to take this for someone that's a terrible singer. But he's just trying to improve the vocal more. Until I can find a singer to collaborate with. Because I'm more about the music than I am about the lyrics. Right, so the one thing that we do want to do is we do want a reverb of some sort, but I don't want anything ridiculous. We can try a mix verb.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Okay. It is very much a case of I've got everything done it in one go. So if I wanted to just make something a little bit different about this side, this I call it a chorus, but it's not.
Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
See that bit? I think it deserves to be a little bit different. But I don't have to do anything because I sung everything in one go. So I want to, I'm going to call it chorus, but it's not. C-O-U. Oh, I can't even spell chorus. Right, I don't want that, so we'll just leave that as main. And I just want to bring this one down. Right. So there'll be no different. I just want to be able to add a few things to it. So I'm going to put the multi-band and copy that over. And the compressor. But what I want to add to this one is the chorus. And that's what I want us just to focus on just for a minute.
Giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
Right, so I want to be able to put those
It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Right, so when I get to those, do I want to put them down so it matches those? So we're going to listen to the whole track, and hopefully I'll be happy with it. But let's see what you think.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Right, I don't know. I like it. I just don't know if it then fits in with the...
For my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
I don't know.
I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Okay. It sounds a little bit better when I can put these together. Under the rhyme, you need to write that down. But I want to just not make this so prominent.
It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fearing a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives.
Okay, I kind of like that. I like the fact that it's just a little bit different. What needs to be the same though? That's 1.8. So if I can get it back on 1.8, that doesn't. There you go, 1.8. There you go. So they're the same now. So I kind of like that. That doesn't sound too bad. And I like it that it's a little bit different. I do like it that it's a little bit different. What I need to do now though is just listen to it through my speakers, because sometimes I can catch things through speakers that I can't through headphones. So to do that, I'm just going to mute. Well, actually, I've already muted it. I forgot to unmute it actually. So I'm going to listen to it, but through my speakers instead of anything else. And just see if I can catch something. Hopefully you're not going to hear it twice, but I'm in fear that you might. So sorry if you do.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
Okay. I'm still not 100% happy with it, and I don't know why. I don't know why. What would happen if I drop you down?
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Now, to me, that sounds good. That does actually sound good. So my first thought is that's vocal 4. If I put chorus into it, but just have it not a little bit quieter.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take, for my baby's sake, balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
I like that. I like that.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, but I feel humble. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Balancing our lives with the steps I make.
I like that. I like that. That does not sound that bad. That chorus has definitely helped bring out a little bit more.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble.
I do like that. I'm just wondering if I can just turn the depth down just a little.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And the cross between vocal 4 and the wrongly spelt chorus. Definitely just makes it different. It's just different, and I think different is better.
Life is a jungle, feels like a rumble, fear in a stumble, and I feel humble. It's the risk I take for my baby's sake. Balancing our lives with the steps I make. Pushing, pulling, loving, giving, needing, hoping. Will you be my friend? I will be your parent, and I will protect you, and I will set you free. It's this dance of life I do for you and me. It's this dance of life I do for you and me.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that is. I think that's good. I think listening to that and that just that slight change, it just helps hide that wobble because I clearly have a wobble in my voice, and that wobble gone is good. Is good. So we can save this now. I'm going to do some minor clipping to it, but then once that is done, I can then mix it down into a wave and then upload it. So this was just I would say a short because it's nearly 2 hours, but a stream just to explain where I am with the process of doing it, where I've got to. This is my third song, but this is the best one that I've done to date. No loops, everything was done by me, which I like, and it's not perfect, but I like that as well. So I can remove all the other audio tracks that aren't used, and then just keep to where we are, and then export it. But I want to thank Crumb on Twitch for helping me out with this test and making sure that everything works. We clearly need to work out some of the kinks with the echoing, but I think I know what that is. It's because I've got two microphones going at the same time, and I need to disable one of them somehow. So I will do that somehow. And then we will be back. Next time I'll be back will be next week, and we will. I'll be able to show you the finished product because it will be available to stream. The actual song, that is, on Spotify once that's set up. I'm still waiting for the authorization, but that should be this week. And then after that, we'll start with a completely blank canvas, and we'll do something different. And that's the hard part as well, is when you get a really catchy tune, you've got to think of something completely different. So that's the next task. But that'll be starting from Monday next week. But until then, thank you very much. If you're on YouTube, thanks for sticking with us. And by all means, subscribe. And if you want to watch us live, then you can do that through Twitch. So just log on to twitch.tv, Mr. Lazylegs, and click the follow. And then you'll always be notified, as long as you click the little bell in Twitch to be notified that when we're next live doing this, you'll be able to come on as well and give your live feedback. But until then, thank you to everyone for watching. And from DJ Lazy, well, I'm not a DJ, so I'll just say from Lazy, it is have a good day, have a good weekend, stay safe out there, and peace to Ukraine. Until then, cheerio.